I tell you this because some wounds don't bleed. They just stay. I was 26 when it finally became impossible to pretend that I was imagining things. By then, I had years of proof stacked quietly inside me, small moments, overlooked efforts, conversations that ended before they began. My parents never yelled at me. That would have been easier. They simply never stood with me. Whenever I spoke about my ambitions, the room would go dull. Not hostile, just uninterested. My words would hang there for a second too long before someone changed the topic. I learned to read that silence. It meant, don't dream too loudly here. When I asked for money to start my business, my hands were shaking, though I tried to hide it. I remember the weight of those papers in my lap. I remember thinking, if they see how prepared I am, they'll believe me. They didn't. My father said no in a tone so final it made me feel childish for asking. My mother didn't even argue. She just said, "We can't afford it," and walked into the kitchen like the conversation was already over. I sat there alone for a while after that, longer than necessary. I wasn't sad yet. I was numb. There's a specific kind of numbness that comes when you realize you are on your own, and no one bothered to tell you. When I found out they had given almost the same amount to my cousin for a car, the numbness cracked. She didn't need the car. Everyone knew that. She wanted it. That was enough. "She's a girl," my mother said, almost kindly. "She'll feel more confident." I remember nodding again. I always nodded. But inside, something ugly formed. Not jealousy, not anger, worthlessness. The quiet belief that my needs were less urgent, my dreams less valid. Taking that loan felt like signing my name under my own fear. High interest, tight deadlines, every rupee counted. Some nights I lay awake staring at the ceiling, listening to my own breathing, wondering what would happen if I failed. No one would catch me. When the business started working, I didn't celebrate. I couldn't. Success without witnesses feels unreal, like a story you're not allowed to tell. Another memory still burns. My cousin quit her job one day, just like that. "Stress," she said. My parents were immediately worried. They sent her money, told her to rest, to heal, to not rush. I remember coming home that same week, exhausted, shoulders aching, head pounding, and my father looking at me and saying, "You look tired. This business thing is too much for you." Not concern, doubt. I wanted to scream, "I'm tired because I'm doing this alone." But I didn't. I slowly disappeared instead. Calls became shorter, visits less frequent. I told myself I was busy, but the truth was simpler. I was tired of shrinking myself to fit their comfort. Cutting ties wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, lonely, necessary. When my mother invited me to my father's birthday, it felt like being asked to step back into a room that had never made space for me. I didn't go. When they called, I answered because a part of me still hoped they would hear me. I spoke angrily that day. My voice carried years of swallowed sentences. I told them how it felt to be overlooked, unsupported, taken for granted. I told them how painful it was to watch resources appear for others while I was told to struggle in silence. My mother exploded. "How can you say these things? We are your parents. You've become arrogant." Arrogant. For asking to be treated fairly. She wasn't furious because I was wrong. She was furious because I refused to stay quiet. When the call ended, my hands were shaking. My chest felt tight. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the wall, waiting for guilt to arrive. It didn't. Instead, there was a strange calm, heavy but steady, like setting down a bag you'd been carrying for too long, and only then realizing how heavy it was. These days, my life is simpler, quieter. I work, I rest, I breathe. There's sadness sometimes, yes, but it's clean. It doesn't eat at me. I finally understand this. Peace isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It just lets you sleep. And after years of feeling invisible, that felt like enough.